You know, so video games always have different status ailments, right? Like I've been playing a lot of Hades, and that game has a bunch of different statuses that you can inflict on people or whatever. And I was like, a lot of these aren't day-to-day things. Like it happens in FF2 as well. Like I'm rarely venomed. I'm rarely poisoned to the... I mean, I guess I kind of self-poison by drinking alcohol, but, you know, I feel like there's not really a whole lot of status ailments. And I was thinking about, I'm like, is there any video games that have, like, allergies as the status ailment?
Ooh.
Because I know Curtis can attest to this. That shit knocks me on my fucking ass.
Oh my god, it's so terrible. I feel like
Marlboros are already scary enough for obvious reasons. If you've played enough,
they probably do put off a bunch of
oh my god, they
shit.
would just hit me with a fucking pollen thing, and I would just immediately I would just turn into a skeleton at that point. Because I can barely handle the baby pollen that's around me at all times. I can't imagine high fantasy fucking pollen.
I mean, I know Persona has enervation, which be knocked out from like having a cold or something like that. You just forget whatever the fuck you're doing.
We gotta mod these games to have like impollinated belly ache or tummy ache.
Yeah, me getting hit with like Marlboro pollen would be like in Terminator 2 or Terminator 1 when she's like holding on to the fence and like the nuclear bomb hits and all of her skin gets blown away and she's just like a skeleton holding onto a fence.
Hell fucking yeah. The ideal aesthetic.
That's right.
Yeah, instead of antidotes to cure you, it's just Pepto or like Afrin or something. Like
yeah, that's right.
Just a nice tea.
Somebody told me SMT stands
tea.
for soothe my tummy, and I was like, that's why I like them.
But yeah, we're talking about Final Fantasy II.
As we do occasionally.
As we do this season, and probably every season after this, because this is the penultimate Final Fantasy.
Ooh, penultimate. They only made one more after this.
Exactly. Wait, is that what penultimate means? I know I used it incorrectly either way.
It's second to last.
Second to last. Oh, damn. Well,
7's the last one. 2 is the next to last one. All the other ones are just rehashes.
Doesn't matter. 4 is 2. It doesn't fucking matter. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Numbers were invented by the government to keep the working man down. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We were not born to.
Whereas
do math.
letters, such as the letter Q, is the working man. Just kidding. I need to stop ironically making jokes about fucking QAnon, because I feel like people are actually gonna be like, oh no, Carl's like actually a QAnon person.
We're all dog whistling.
Come on, we're not actually QAnon. We're actually deep state. So
we're actually CIA. We're the feds. I'm
right.
Carl.
Yeah, exactly.
With me as always is Curtis.
Oh, that's me.
And Alex.
I don't know why I did like an introduction of like the other. Like
No,
I don't think
great.
we've ever done that before.
Now I'm like realizing the extent to like how little work I have to put in. I'll just be like, oh, Carl could just introduce me. Great.
Just put it on auto battle, and Curtis is just constantly in defend.
Yeah.
Which that is something.
Speaking of defend, a thing. Yeah, it's not in FF2.
Yeah, it's not in FF2 on Famicom, and my god, do I fucking miss that, because the only options you get are like fight, I think flee, magic, and then item, and we already talked about the item system in FF2 on Famicom and how like you have to pre-equip items to use them. So it's not like, uh-oh, I got petrified, let me go find a gold needle in my fucking gigantic rucksack or whatever. Like it's you have to plan ahead. So
and let me tell you, I have very much equipped all my characters with 2 potions after something we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and we've talked about a little bit with how like you can game the system a little bit in like an EV training kind of way, like from Pokemon, where like, oh, just punch your characters in the face or something. But it's a lot harder in the original one, because you can't just be like, oh, defend, and I'm going to focus on this character's stat by just doing this over and over and over again. It's like, no, you have 3 enemies, and Guy and Firion are just going to kill them immediately if they attack them.
Yeah.
You might get lucky with like, oh, I'm aiming at one that just died, but like the only thing I pretty much started doing was just unequipping my weapons mid-fight and having them punch themselves as I focused on like trying to get Maria's like MP up so she could use more spells, which I think we might need some of those spells today, because we're in the fucking Snow Cavern, right?
Yes. Okay. So Snow Cavern. Okay. Snow Cavern, not the worst. Tough enough. I had basically the Snow Cavern. I had to go into it, go as far down as I could, exit, go back to town, re-enter, and then repeat like 3 or 4 times.
That is the true FF2 experience on Famicom. On any version that's like
I am finding
not
this,
up to date, it's like, oh, okay, I've made it down. It's like it's just like the mines in Stardew Valley, where you're like, okay, it's 11 p.m. I have like maybe another hour here before I have to get home before I pass out. I need to just like stop here, even though I'm 1 floor away from finding the elevator. It's just like that.
This is the precursor to Stardew Valley. That's what they modeled it after. But yeah, very much so. Like it is resource draining to go dungeoning in this game. Like it is not simple. In the Famicom version, anyway. In the Pixel Remaster, you can just kind of like rock on down, get down there, fight the boss, roll out, no big deal. But if you are without MP in this game, like you are 1 battle away from getting absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, and it's like it can come fast, because I think this area also introduces some like newer ghoul enemies that we can fight that will just stun some of your party members.
Oh my god.
So it becomes a real tough time. I did notice, like, you can obviously use a Final Fantasy trope, use cure, or like, I guess you can't use potions on enemies in this one, but, use cure or like life spells to kind of just one-shot them and stuff. Turns out fire's a lot more effective. Like a level 3 fire spell on those ghouls will deal much more damage than doing the cool thing of being like, I'll just use cure on their whole party to deal some damage. So I found that out like halfway through the Snow Cavern after like fighting a bunch of them. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I noticed that the difference between Fire 1, Fire 2, and Fire 2, Fire 3 is pretty significant in this game. Like, it didn't feel like just a arbitrary couple of numbers go up. It was kind of like, oh, Fire 2, I'm doing 90 damage. Fire 3, I'm doing 180 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
so
really
just like,
nice.
yo, let's go.
Yeah, it's cool too, because I think I mainly only really noticed this in the Famicom one, but there's like damage rolls, like a classic RPG kind of thing, where it's like, oh, I got a roll that was a little on the low end, so I didn't do the maximum damage that I could have done. And like in some fights that will actually make a difference, because you'll be like, oh, okay, well I killed this like goblin or this zombie or whatever, but I didn't kill the other ones.
Yeah, it matters a lot in that, like, oh, I rolled a low roll and did not kill the grenade or the bomb who's in this party.
And now
and then
one of my characters dead.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a real pain in the butt too. Is like luckily, so when you start out, life is so cheap. Not the concept of life, but like the spell life. It costs 1 MP to use, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, as you use it more and more, it starts to cost more, which is like ridiculous. To like, oh, I'm being punished for using the life spell. Like
being
it actually
punished
gets,
for being good.
Yeah, it's like it costs more the more I have to use it, right?
Yeah, so. I think I saw in an interview that Sakaguchi actually intentionally did that, and it was kind of a meta commentary on just like the working class in general, because it's like, the harder you work and the better you get at your job, the more you're going to be punished for it, because then everyone else around you won't have to work as hard, and everything's just going to be kind of thrown on you. And if you don't meet up to your standard of performance, then your boss is going to give you a fucking hard time, even though you're doing better than everyone else.
Can't relate. Don't know what that's about.
Times have changed.
Nobody wants to work anymore is what I'm trying to say. Man, I gotta stop it with this ironic bit.
We're all just shedding a single tear and then continuing on.
I do kind of want to talk about the first room that we walk in here. I really like the way that the NES handles dungeons. Where like the door leading to the exit isn't just like the same door that you would see. It's not like in Pokemon where you see a little light like kind of coming in or something. It has like a whole nice little background and backdrop there.
Yeah, it does.
It's really pretty.
Nice.
It's cool. It's nice. They really upped the graphics. I know we've spoken a lot of sugar about that in the past, but this area in particular looks really nice on the NES one.
Yeah. Compare this to Ice Cave from FF1. Psh,
yeah,
that shit sucked.
Yeah, they didn't just slap a new color palette on it. It definitely looks like a lot more care went into it. But to enter like the first floor, there's a conspicuously long bridge or like staircase,
bridge, something that we have to go over. Yeah,
I interpret it as going down. a staircase?
No,
yeah,
it has to be up the staircase, right?
Oh yeah, no, I think we do find out that canonically it is going up a staircase.
I was gonna say, like, I think it has to be up, based
So
on.
I guess north is up. In
all
this
of our,
game,
all of our,
regardless.
That's right. That's right.
all of our characters are, complaining as they walk up the stairs that it's too high and that the slope is really steep. And we all know that it's much easier coming down
That's
a
right.
set of stairs. So I look forward to the descent on our way back.
Speaking of which, did y'all take a look at like our new party member Joseph's stats or anything like that?
I did, but I don't remember offhand.
This man can throw hands.
This man can throw hands, and I actually have a screenshot here from a battle that I had won on the Pixel remaster, and it just has one thing at the end. There's a big screen that says like everything that can level up, like your spells or whatever proficiencies you have, and it only says Joseph hands leveled up, and I was like, yo, this motherfucker got hands.
This motherfucker got hands. Like after Minwoo, like Minwoo was cool because he had like, kind of a smorgasbord of like what kind of white magic that we can use, which that was fun. That was like a cool tutorial kind of thing. Joseph is like a real fourth party member. Yeah. Where, like, he's tough. He's like good in the game. You put him up front row, you like take and you, like, don't equip any weapons on him, and he'll just like boom, punch his way through pretty much anything in the snow cave.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
It's another young kind of character design.
He's kind of like a young, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
absolutely.
Bald man with a mustache.
Like
he also comes equipped with garlic. So that's an item that's just on him.
I really like, I don't know if I ever used garlic in the Pixel remaster, but I like the way you can use it in the Famicom one, because it just says like garlic 3 or something when you use it. Like it's just like a placeholder for the the what's it called, the magic spells or something. It's very funny.
I'm putting twice as much in, as they say.
But yeah, that was super cool. I actually like this character quite a bit. I think he's a cool guy.
He doesn't afraid of anything.
He doesn't afraid of anything. He got strength.
Has
for
hands
days.
and doesn't afraid of anything. It's also cool, and I was kind of expecting to take just passive damage as you're walking around in this cave, because we have to walk through water, and we are in a snow cave. And if video games and real life have taught me anything, is that cold water really hurts. So
once again, I got the multiple floor tiles that I love. I love that, like, there's a little bit more variety in this game.
It's like a small detail, but it really helps immerse you a lot more and really adds some sense of like it being a thriving world.
Yeah.
I like that in parts of the cave. There's even parts where there aren't any snow. At least in the Pixel remaster. Mm-hmm. It kind of adds some cool variety of texture. Like there's some parts where it melted or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of on the inside of the mountain, where I guess it would be warmer, right?
I would assume
it's patchy.
Like any kind of enclosed place, I would imagine. Like, I mean, fucking igloos are warmer than just being out in the elements. So,
well, I feel like that's partially your own body heat that's doing.
Oh, that's a good point as well. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did no research on how igloos actually work in thermodynamic terms.
Yeah, can you get igloos in this game?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to every FNFF Igloo Corner, where we go over how igloos work.
So every now and then in the winter months, if your system is set to the winter months, it might snow, and then you can find snowballs on the ground and push them around. You can actually build a snowman who will give you snowman furniture, and some of your villagers will be in an igloo as well, and it looks really cozy in there. And they're like cooking up a soup or something.
Yo, I'm actually looking at the Wikipedia now for igloo. It's pretty tight, actually.
Do you guys ever make an igloo?
No, it looks much too complicated.
I usually just burrow a hole into the big pile of snow in my driveway that the snowplow has formed when it snows.
Yeah, and post up there for the night. When I think it was, I think it was the blizzard of '96 in like Pennsylvania, where there was obviously a lot of snow, that my dad and I think my older brothers went out into our backyard and built like a really big igloo that had like a tunnel and stuff, and it was like so much fun. And my mom was always like, "Don't go in that igloo; it's gonna collapse and kill you." I was like, honestly, probably.
It's not that much snow. It's not like a load bearing.
No, I know.
Snow igloo.
My mom was very protective.
Ice.
I guess is the way to put it.
This isn't the hotel from that one James Bond.
Oh yeah, one of the bad ones that's not good.
The Spy Who Shagged Me, right?
That's right.
Snowpiercer.
That's right. Snow Crash.
Snowden.
Anyway, so yeah, what do you all have? So I know like in this game there's like 8 to 10 like different kinds of like weapon types where you have like bows and spears and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What do y'all have on your various characters? What are you using at this point?
I think I kind of just rolled with like the default for everyone, like Furion, sword and shield. I think at one point I was like, okay, fuck the shield. I don't really care about that. I do way more damage when I just one hand a sword. For Maria, I just have a bow, but she mainly casts spells. And I've noticed that in the Famicom one, it might just be because I'm not attacking as much, but it seems really difficult to level up the bow with Maria.
Yeah, agreed.
But I think that literally might just be because I'm not spamming attack as much as I did in Pixel Remaster.
So I didn't have a bow on Maria at all. I didn't have any weapon on Maria up to this point, because I think you get more magic damage if you're just barehanded.
No
and
fucking way,
like,
really?
Oh, yeah, but only like it's minuscule, but you get a little bit more. But
sometimes that's all you need, though.
Sometimes that's all you need. But now that the dungeons are a little bit longer and a little bit more strenuous, having an option besides magic is like so necessary. So I actually started using a bow on Maria here, and like after what we're gonna get into next, she finally has a couple levels under her belt on that one.
Nice.
But I was gonna say you can get the second axe here.
Yeah, the battle axe, right?
Battle axe, which like Guy's already pretty strong, and now he is just a one-hit KO machine, and I love this.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I think you can also get a mithril mace, which I think might be a class above battle, but I don't remember exactly how.
I think it's under a spear, is it right?
No, because there's a mithril spear
under an
here
axe?
as well. There's mithril spear, mithril mace. So that has its own proficiency. But I'm saying like you might be able to like you're not as proficient, so you won't get as many hits on the enemy with a mace, but it might do more damage if you want to level it up that way. It seems like they're kind of letting you kind of choose your build here.
I see.
To which I did. Oh no, I already dumped a bunch of points into battle axe or into axe. So Guy will continue using the axe.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know I had going into this cave, but I know by the time I got out, everyone had mithril weapons, with Guy having the axe.
Yeah.
I think, I gave Maria the spear for some reason.
Nice.
I think I don't know. It just something lighter than a
It felt
staff.
Right.
It's an interesting thing I kind of noticed about...
it's a stave. That's okay. The mithril mace is a stave, yeah.
Okay, I see. We also get the ancient sword somewhere here, which is a good one to equip to Furion. I think that also delivers like curse on your enemies.
Oh, does it?
I think it does. If
I
I'm
do
not
have that
mistaken.
on him right now. It does inflict curse. Look at that.
May inflict curse.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I kept doing that. I was like, cool. I don't really know what that status does, but I'm here for it. I think it reduces their attack.
Let's find out.
I'm going strictly by vibes and by what it felt like in the game.
I'm going to go by whatever it says on the wiki right now.
Curse status halves the afflicted target's attack, defense, and magic power.
Nice.
Making them weaker and easier to defeat.
Yeah, so that's really good. Hit something with that, especially like defense, like we've talked about it. That is a very important stat because I think I mentioned the mimic like land turtle that I had to fucking bang my head against and hope for critical hits to negate the difference between defense to do any kind of damage.
So by the way, speaking of which, so the spell Asuna is in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think this is where it makes its debut.
I believe you're right. I think we can comfortably say this is where this originated, and like 90% of the time we'll be correct about it. Like, there's so much that started in Final Fantasy 2.
Do you know how Asuna works in this game?
I do, and I fucking hate it, and I spent a large amount of time just trying to grind up Asuna with Maria. Asuna has different levels, like all spells, but it doesn't give you more attack power because it's a healing spell, obviously, but there's only certain things that you can heal with Asuna, and there's only certain things that will be healed until you level it up. So like the first one I think is like you can heal poison with Asuna.
And darkness, yeah.
And darkness, yeah. And then as you level it up to like level 2 and 3, that's when you get more of the statuses that you're going to want to use Asuna on.
And yeah, the only reason I know about this right now is because I was looking it up for Curse, and at level 2 it can remove Curse.
Nice, which could be very, very helpful. I think it's not until level 3 that some of the things that I would want to remove start happening, and I think there's a weird thing in maybe all of the versions, or maybe just the Famicom one. I think at level 5, Asuna will remove KO.
At level 7,
level 7, yeah,
it brings people back to life. I was like, what?
So that seems like it's a good thing to dump a lot of skill points in, but have you tried doing that at all, Curtis?
I have not.
So I think I haven't like looked it up or done the math, but just from like my experience of playing the Famicom one, it feels like every time you go to use Asuna, you level up by like 2 points, and you have to get to 100 to get to the next proficiency. And I don't know if that's across the board.
50 times.
So you have to use it 50 times to level up to the next one. I don't know if that gets harder and you only get like, certain amount, like lesser points. There might be like different weights as well that factor in, because sometimes I feel like I've seen odd numbers or something, but I'm not fully up to snuff on how to do that. But with Asuna, it fucking sucks because you can't just, it's not like Cure where you can just spam it any time after battle and get a couple of charges in there, because your character would need to have a
status ailment.
Status ailment. Not just any status ailment, but one that can be cured by that level of Asuna.
Right.
So it's pretty much you just need to set Maria as using Asuna as her turn in every battle if you want to level it up to get to 7, so that is a real grind that really, really sucks.
The Ancient Sword concept art, it looks real stupid. Does not look comfortable to hold at all.
It looks like a Pokemon.
It looks real stupid.
It looks like in Breath of the Wild, there's like the Goron like rock smasher thing that's good for fucking mining ore or whatever. It looks like that is the hilt. Like that's the handle and the hilt.
That does look pretty bad. That looks like a Duplo Blocks ass fucking.
They were like, Amino is sick today. Someone needs to draw the concept art for this cool sword that we want to include in the game. They had an intern do it.
That's awesome.
That's how ancient it was. Ergonomics weren't invented.
Yeah, like what kind of hand? You'd have to have like a very, very wide or like long palm to be able to hold that sword.
Maybe they just like did a prayer and they had to hold it like that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Who knows? I think it's just a ceremonial thing. I don't think it's actually supposed to be used.
True. So I think there's only kind of like one other thing of note. There's like some like little like river kind of things. A lot of treasure chests. There's like gil in some of them, and the weapons that we mentioned. Like
there's some trap rooms.
Yeah, some classic trap rooms that I hated so much because I was like, this makes no sense. Why is this here? And then I realized like I'm allowing the game to just exist with it. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it. Like when you describe it to me that way, it's fine, I guess.
I've definitely looked at dungeon maps for every dungeon we've been into thus far, so I can just know exactly where to go, so I don't have to walk into any of these trap rooms. I
feel like that's worth doing, and that's a quality of life thing they added, at least in the Pixel remaster, where you can look at a map at any time. So I feel like I already went through it that way. I'm gonna just continue doing that. I don't care. Like this on NES, it's a slog enough as it is. I'm not trying to impress anyone with my playthrough of it beyond just playing it. So, but there is one cool room.
Oh, there's a extremely cool room in this place. What are these? What are these things?
These things are beavers.
Oh, they're beavers. The beaver room.
We walk into one room and it's just got a kind of little lake in it. I think there's no encounters in here, and the music changes if I remember correctly. So it's a nice little jaunty tune instead of the dungeon music. And there's a bunch of really cute little beavers just kind of walking around.
You could tell me
it's
what
like the proto-Moogles, I'm guessing, right?
Well, I was going to say, you could tell me what the music is right now, and I would be like, oh, it's the Moogle room from FF6. Like when you're in Narsh Mines. It just reminds me of that.
You got your Philadelphia accent coming through
Moogle.
too hard.
Yeah, dude, let's go. Go Sixers. It's funny that this will be coming out in a couple of weeks, so that might hit different at that point.
Speaking of Philly and my Philly accent, etc. I was at Wawa the other night, as you do if you're from Philly.
Yes.
And as I was there, because I was there for a couple minutes, because if you order hot food, it takes several minutes to get it. So I get in there, and as soon as I go in, there's a guy who's being thrown out of Wawa, right? And I guess he was caught
Like you do.
stealing. He was like, yeah, as you do. He was caught stealing Red Bull or whatever, and they were like, get on out of here, you whatever. And he was like, and like as he was walking away, he was like, hey, shut up, y'all being ridiculous. Like they like saying like crazy stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's wild. And then as I was there, because I had to be there for like 15 minutes while I was waiting, he came back in and he was like looking around, and I was like, look, I'm no narc, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna like watch what happens here or whatever. So he's looking around like he's like sneaking or whatever, and he like tiptoes, you know, through Wawa, and he goes back
Wait,
to
was
the
he
case.
actually tiptoeing?
No, but he was
Was he
like
wearing sneakers for sneaking?
he was like skulking though. He was like hiding behind the like the
Like
like
the chip
rows of
counters and
chips.
stuff? Yeah,
exactly,
nice.
yeah. And he went back over to the Red Bulls and started pulling Red Bulls out. And somebody caught him again, and they were like, "I keep telling you to stop coming in here and taking the Red Bulls." And he's like, "I don't have any Red Bulls." And they're like, "Well, what's in your jacket?" And he's like, Y'all just don't like my jacket."
These are my Red Bulls from home, dude. Listen,
Yeah, that's right.
all I need to say is if you see someone stealing Red Bulls at Wawa, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Well, the thing I enjoyed most about this man is that like he had such like a an innocent energy about him, where I was like, oh, he didn't say any cuss words. He didn't yell at nobody. He
Some
was just
leave
like,
it to
y'all just
Beaver
being
ass
mean
shit.
and don't like my jacket.
Dennis the Menace was
He had very Dennis
really
the
just
Menace energy. I
going
was
nuts
like-
in the Wawa.
The amount of just like harmless charisma bouncing.
Yeah,
around there
exactly.
is
I was
very
just like,
funny.
So
oh,
good.
what? Yeah, I was just like, what a nice gentleman. What a good guy.
Yeah, fucking A, man. Shout out to that guy. I hope he has many Red
Everyone's
Bulls.
doing their job, and he just wants his Red Bull. So
He just wants
Yeah.
his just let the man have his Red Bull, please.
I would have to imagine whatever like teenager is working at Wawa is probably like, man, I don't want to fucking stop this guy from stealing the
Yeah,
Red Bull.
yeah.
I don't get fucking paid enough to.
this is just that meme of Mo throwing Barney out of the.
Yeah.
He's already inside.
Well, hell yeah. I hope that guy has many more successful heists.
Me too. It was very Philly as I was
That
sitting
is a
there, I was
very
like,
Philly
nice.
moment. But yeah,
Y'all
so
ridiculous.
it's interesting. I think a lot of the beavers that we talk to, they just say like, little like nonsense things like snook chit in like one of them. I think they're called giant beavers in the Pixel remaster. So they've grown considerably over the years, but
I mean, they do take up an entire sprite slot. Like
they look so fucking good, dude. These things
I
are
love 'em.
amazing.
But luckily, we have somebody on hand who can talk to animals.
There is one that's just kind of fucking chilling near some rocks.
I wonder if they're supposed to be like ancient because one, they're bigger, but also like if you look at their sprite, their fangs are like spread apart like a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah,
Huh.
we need to consult the novelization.
The Ice Age beaver.
Has the game told us at any point that Guy can talk to animals?
It sure has not. No, this was a shock.
He's telling us right now.
He tells us right now. He just says, "Guy speak beaver," and I was like, "Oh,
Guy
okay."
speaks
And
beaver.
I
It was
think
an
if you
elective.
look in the,
Is it elective?
I think in the manual, it probably mentions that in like a character description.
I would like to say, no, it does not.
Well, in the novelization,
as an owner
I
of
have
the
to
original
imagine-
Famicom version of this game,
in the
no.
data logs.
Curtis, I have like one thing I can contribute to this podcast ever, and it's that I don't do any actual research.
No,
but I
no,
do
it's
remind
fine.
you, it's probably in the manual. That's all I got, dude. That's all I can do.
Well, I was like, oh, I would like to see, because before we started the season, I was like, oh wow, Furion's actual name is Furionel. That's pretty crazy. I should look that up at his character page in the manual. And there are no character pages in the manual. And I was like, what a rip
Well, the
off.
Famicom one.
Yeah, the Famicom game. I was just like, this is lame. That's the best part.
Yeah, so
Have you looked at does it mention are there character profiles in the Japanese manual?
That's the one I'm looking at. Yeah, the Famicom Japanese
Oh, okay.
manual.
yeah, there was
There's
no
character
NES.
profile.
There was no NES one at all.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I thought the same thing. I did the same thing, Alex. I was like, let me find the NES manual, and then I was like, oh right, why would that exist?
Yeah, right.
They're like, we didn't localize the game, but we did translate the manual for everyone.
I mean, a lot of this game did get made in
Yeah.
English, so it wouldn't be too surprising. But no, I don't think they ever came out with one.
But yeah, we hilariously now get the prompt that we keep getting, like, ask, learn key items. I'm like, I want to learn from this beaver.
I want to sit at the foot of the master.
Sit my ass down and listen.
Sat my white ass down and listened.
And he does teach our white ass something quite important too. That there is a hidden door in the room. Whoa. And it's on the right side. That's about it. That's like all we really get of the beavers. They're just like,
they give us another really good tip, which is monster guard bell.
Oh my, that is true.
An extremely important tip because
That's a good point. That's a good
holy
point.
fuck.
That's a good point.
Bell and wall.
Bell and wall.
And so after we leave this room via the hidden exit that the beavers told us about, there's one more like windy path, right, that we have to take. And down toward the bottom, there is a monster on the map where we can actually see like a creature standing there, right? And like anytime there's a creature on the map, that's a boss fight. That's bad news.
It's a legendary Pokemon.
We do have a chest here as well that contains a silver armor or a silver cuirass, I think is how it's pronounced in
Cuirass?
Oh, we did this before.
I think we did this before, and I think it was
like
a
FF7 season.
Yeah, it's cuirass, yeah.
Because I remember we were joking about the fact that it was called cuirass,
which is like a chest plate armor, which I did not know about until I just looked it up now to find out how it's pronounced and to give myself ear damage.
But there's a creature here that is guarding the bell.
The sprite looks really, really cool. It takes up several tiles on the Pixel remaster. I think it's just a one tile situation in the Famicom one, right?
Yeah. But this is the Adamantoys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not enough room to spell Adamantoys on the Famicom one, so it is the Adamantos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Adamantos.
Actually, did you notice, Carl? So you're playing the same hack that I am?
I'm playing the exact same ROM that you sent me, yes. I mean, the locally sourced and totally legitimate and legal.
Locally sourced farm-to-table video gaming.
You hired a localizer to play the game with you.
Exactly,
That's
yes.
Yeah.
Nintendo might come after us for hiring a localizer to do that, but we certainly didn't download it illegally, so you do not have to garnish our wages, Nintendo. It's fine.
That's right. What I really like that they did with the hack is in several places they actually combined letters into one 8x8 sprite.
Oh yeah, that's really smart. Yeah,
it's really nice because like there's obviously not enough characters for a lot of the different kind of creature names or whatever. So instead of trying to spell out every single letter, they're just like, oh well, you can fit an I and an A in one space, so we'll just make a character that's just IA. And so like some of the characters for Adamantoys are like full 8x8 size, and some of them are just like 4x8. It's like very interesting.
I fucking love shit like that.
It's great.
That's like how on sound chips they used to get like a delay effect was just by having two of the notes played slightly after one another and having one slightly lower so it sounds like it moved away from you. With the manual delay. It's like that in text form. I can't get enough of that shit. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's Adamantoys, and the Adamantoys is
so we kill this boss and then we move on and it's nothing.
He's either a motherfucker or incredibly easy, depending on one factor that is so stupid.
It's like, do you know how to kill this thing or do you not?
Exactly. And if you don't...
I did not. I beat it. I don't think I had too much of an issue on Pixel Remaster just because of all the quality of life improvements, especially with like quick save and auto save and stuff. It's not as horrifying as...
It also seems like your like hit to miss ratio is a lot more...
Yeah, it's a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It almost feels like the Famicom one did the classic FF1 thing where it's like, it's supposed to function like this, but it doesn't. Instead, it's much worse.
Yeah, agreed. So I wiped it twice. I beat twice.
I wiped to this. I did use a save state because fuck it. Like, why wouldn't I?
Same. Yeah, because it is a long way back.
It's a long way back, and you're fighting some of these enemies. You don't really have too many options with like what you can heal if you get status ailments. There's these ghouls that are constantly like paralyzing you and stuff, and so it's like you have to use magic to get here, and then you need to use magic in this fight because it's more than likely that your characters are not really going to be doing any kind of damage to it at all. It's like I was lucky if Guy could do like 30 damage to the Adamantoys.
Yeah, same. And this is not a game where, like, if you die, you go back to town or something like that. If you die, you go back to the title screen.
Yeah.
So you have to just load the last save that you had. So, like, the 30 plus minutes you spent getting down there and, like, getting experience, it's all gone.
It's
just
gone.
Complete
Yeah,
waste.
yeah.
So it's rough. It's rough.
So yeah, I spent a long time kind of just like running out of spells because I was like,
Same.
I read somewhere, I think it might have been in Pixel Remaster, like one of the hints that one of the wizards at the beginning that doesn't exist in the original one is just like, oh, aquatic creatures are susceptible to like lightning damage. I'm like, okay, well, I have Thunder 3, so I'm going to use as many of that as I can until Maria runs out of fucking juice on that, and then like try and attack my way through. And like I finally was able to take it down, but
So, speaking of which, aquatic creatures being weak to lightning or whatever.
such as a turtle.
A turtle in a
tortoise.
cave of ice. And we have 3 options, right? We have fire, we have thunder, and we have ice. If you had to rank them on a tier list.
On what
that's
you
Alex,
think would...
Alex. If you had to rank them on a tier list, okay? You were fighting a turtle in a cave of ice. 1, 2, 3. Most likely to do extra damage to least likely to do extra damage.
Obviously fire, because we're doing the Pokemon
Fire,
rules.
just Pokemon rules. Or, again, maybe Pokemon rules. It's a Squirtle, so it's water. So thunder,
lightning,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then ice on the bottom. You're wrong. You're very wrong. It's weak to ice.
You use Blizzard and it does like 300 or like 400 damage. And I was like,
does
what
so
the
much
fuck,
fucking
dude?
damage. Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
crazy.
learn that. I didn't learn that until, spoiler alert, it's an RPG, and soon this enemy, this boss, is going to be reused in an area that we come to later as just a normal ass enemy. And I just used Blizzard on it, and I saw how much damage it did, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That's so buck wild. Why would it be that way?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense, and it made me really upset.
So stupid. So stupid. All right. Alex, what did you post here?
Oh, I was just saying that the GBA version mentions Guy can talk.
Ah, it
Oh,
does.
cool. Yeah, nice.
They have profiles for all the characters in the GBA
Dude,
version.
I also love the Amino art.
Yeah.
It's really
Yo,
good. Leon.
fucking Guy is thick.
He's
in the
extremely
Amino art.
thick.
God damn.
Oh yeah,
He
looks kind of like. He looks like he has kind of a Thor build. He's got like a funky little helmet.
1 second, my left leg is entirely asleep because of the way that I've been sitting. And I need to be in excruciating pain for a couple seconds
we
here.
need to get Curtis a gold needle.
Oh, no one's ever been in so much pain. But yeah,
God gives his sleepiest legs to his bravest soldiers.
But yeah, that what a weird fight. When I saw what it was weak to, I was like, come on, Final Fantasy 2, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If I was a kid doing this, I would never have figured that out. Never.
Yeah, unless I was like a kid who played games without logic, and I'm just like, oh, I will try all of my spells, because of course I wouldn't necessarily this is also in a pre-Pokemon world, and I feel like Pokemon kind of set the tone for how elements have to work for and against one another for a long time. But
yeah, I guess.
I agree, though. It still makes no sense and drove me fucking crazy. But
because the whole way down here, you're fighting enemies that are weak to fire.
My concern was, I was like, okay, well, I already dumped a bunch of fucking HP in there. I am trying to outrun the clock. It is a DPS contest now, and that thing hits way harder than I can. And I do not have
hard.
Maria, when she shoots it with an arrow, does nothing. And even if she gets a critical hit, she's not doing anything. I have so little damage that I can do. I don't want to risk trying to use Blizzard and just giving it all its HP back, because it's a fucking ice turtle, I presume.
Exactly.
We gotta fight fire with fire, I guess.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But either way, Adamantoise goes down. We are able to get the goddess bell out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remembered what the goddess bell was for, and I'm like, this is such a circuitous task.
Yeah.
We need the flame But to get the flame, we have to have a torch. But to find the torch, we have to get into the keep. But to get into the keep, we need to get the bell.
Not just the bell. No, we don't need the bell necessarily. We just need someone of the royal lineage, like our friend who we just talked to a couple of episodes ago, who now we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
The one who died?
But to get to the bell, we had to get to the snowcraft. But to get to the snowcraft, we had to talk to Joseph. So it's a very, very like roundabout.
This was when I was just like, all right, Final Fantasy 2, because I tried extremely hard to like not look anything up, so it led to a lot of me wandering around, just being like, I don't know where to go, and I was like, oh, of course, why didn't I think I needed the bell to get that I need the snowcraft in order to get?
Yeah,
I guess because the king told us, right?
Yeah, if you talk to the king.
Yeah, but either way, we do get the bell, and this is one of those. So
now
dungeons.
It's time to teleport out and.
I was gonna say, it's literally what I was gonna say. We are not able to teleport out. We are blocked by a mysterious force and unable to do so. But luckily, there is a door right behind the adamantoids that leads into the first room of the cave.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that as well. That door you will see when you first walk in, and you can't get through it. And that drove me a little like nuts, because I was like, I want to see what's in there. And I was like, okay, I'll come back later, and I might need a key for it.
It's another snowcraft for later.
Yeah. It's a tool we'll use later. But
I was trying to think of that phrase.
Yeah, but no, it's just it kind of loops around it on itself with like a one-way exit in a Dark Souls kind of fashion. And
thank God it takes you back to the first fucking room, because if we had to walk all the way back.
Oh my God, and you're limping here as well. Like it's potentially.
Yeah.
The beavers could have probably helped us.
Where are their ass at? They didn't even help us fight the adamantoids. It's just a turtle. But yeah, so we get back to the first room with that long bridge, right? And as we try to cross, bridge, stairs, whatever it is, as we try to cross it, Borgin shows up, the guy who was building the dreadnought earlier, that didn't recognize us when we were like, "Hey, Wild Rose," and he was just like, "I don't know what that is."
I've never heard those words in my life. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But he has been disgraced at this point. I guess. Letting us go and seeing the dreadnought being built, and the fact that he couldn't get it done but had to have the Dark Knight do it. I guess he's been like disgraced by his actions, right? Yeah, and he says like, curses, you've already gotten the goddess's bell. If I ever go back to the Emperor, he'll have my head. If I'm gonna die, you're coming with me. And then we have to fight him. We have to fight him. He was easy. Oh yeah, I fucked this guy. Thank God. Up. Yeah, I think that's, I don't think he's meant to be hard. I think it's thematically makes sense that he would be an easy boss to kill. That's gameplay storytelling basically. Yeah, it actually is pretty funny. I don't know much of what he can do. I don't really remember. I think he use like fire spells or something? I think I took him down in the first turn, if I remember right. I think I used just guy immediately runs up on him and fucking slices him in two. Yeah. Basically, I think I hit him with like a level 3 spell with Maria, and then hit him with Guy once, and that was that was it. He is dripped out of his mind. Yo, he is. He is the best dressed Final Fantasy sprite we've seen yet. Got like a Napoleon hat.
Amino art is wild.
Oh yeah, I want to
drop it in the Discord.
I looked through all the Amino art because on the Pixel remaster. Ooh, on the Pixel remaster, you can go through and check out all the concept art as you like unlock encounters and stuff.
That's cool. It's like a bestiary, but it has like concept art.
Yeah,
too.
There's a bestiary and also the concept art, so it's really nice.
He's a little round guy.
Yeah, I love his like in the concept art. He kind of looks like he's wearing like prisoner pants, like fucking Soggy Bottom Boys from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Like he run offed. But in the Pixel remake, his pants kind of almost look like Black Mage pants from like Black Mage's like FF9 sort of thing, like Vivi. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that, definitely.
He's got like a Napoleon hat, a Captain's Crunch hat, perhaps.
Captain's Crunch.
A cool ass cape. Yeah, a cool fucking, what is that, a scimitar, I guess?
He looks like Asterisk, the comic book character.
I don't know if I'm familiar with Asterisk.
That is. The point is,
he looks like Dog Welder, the character from comics.
But yeah, our man looking good here until he's dead, which is like one turn in.
Oh, that kind of comic. I thought you meant like superheroes and shit. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it kind of looks
I see that,
Asterix. Yeah. Looks like the fucking maybe in Yoshi's Island that character is a reference to that because I know Nintendo when they started they wanted to just be
Bashful
fucking
Bert.
Popeye. You know, they wanted Mario to be or Donkey Kong to be Popeye, but
I know that monkey. His name is Donkey.
yeah, I have exactly 2 screenshots of the fight with Borgin. One is him there and like fucking Furion about to attack him, and then the next one is just him dying and disintegrating.
Yeah, but when he dies though, he does have a quite the what do they call it? Desperation attack, right? He has quite the parting shot.
He's got the dead man switch.
He got the dead man switch because as soon as we kill him, an Indiana Jones style boulder drops in and starts chasing our team down the stairs.
Yeah, he says, I may have lost, but don't think that you've won. I've booby-trapped this cave. Just a little parting gift from me to you. I'll be waiting for you in hell. Yeah.
It'd be very embarrassing because he seems surprised to see us.
Yeah.
And he just like, I booby-trapped this whole place for nothing.
Yeah.
He fucking Kevin McAllister'd us, dude. He put the tool shed at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, I was gonna say as soon as we get to the bottom, like the paint can swing down and knock us down the stairs again.
Suck brick, kid.
Press the door.
We use brick as an item, and it just says brick 3, and a bunch of bricks hit everyone in the fucking.
Yes, the boulder chases us down, and we are not able to outrun it. We are actually being gained on by it, right? Like we're not going to get out of the way in time.
Yeah.
And so Joseph turns around and he's like, "I can stop the boulder. You all go on without me. Like, go on ahead, right? And
Go on, get out. Can't you see I don't like you guys anymore?
Yeah.
Get out of here."
Another Yang type moment.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, and the party's like, "Oh no, Joseph, don't!" And he's like, "Oh, there's not enough time." So we run out of the way. Joseph is unable to handle the boulder on his own, and it just rolls right over him and kills him to death.
Yeah, he's dead as hell now.
Oh yeah,
he could not stop Atomos.
Yeah, he is pancaked out.
Have you guys ever seen UHF starring Weird Al?
I have
Yankovic?
not. I can't believe I haven't. But
You've mentioned it.
Oh my god, it's so good. We got to do a viewing party or something of that. It's really good. But there's it came out around the same time as one of the Indiana Jones movies. So Weird Al was parodying that. He does a lot of movie parodies in that as well. And it's him like doing the thing where he takes the statue. I think it's like an Oscar is that he's grabbing, which is very funny because there's no way that movie ever would have won an Oscar. And the boulder chases him around, and it just keeps chasing him like throughout all kinds of different like green screen backgrounds and stuff. And then it finally like rolls him over, and it's just a very Looney Tunes, like him dressed as Indiana Jones with his like 80s mustache or 90s mustache and stuff, but just like flat like a pancake with like practical effects. It's really good. So I imagine that's exactly what Joseph looks like. May he rest his weary bones, which are now dust because he got crushed by a rock.
Well, Joseph's dead, but at least we have his garlic and the goddess bell.
I think I might be misremembering, but I think the music changes here as well, right? To like a more melancholy kind of track. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really nice, which I think persists into the overworld as well. So when we're walking around in the overworld, it's no longer the happy tune. It's more of the, kind of like Final Fantasy 7-ish, where the tone of the game changes and the tone of the music in the world changes as well. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Those beavers could have saved us.
On the way back to Salaman, I was fucking limping. I was in rough shape.
Yeah.
No MP, no curatives,
no Joseph.
No Joseph. I was
feeling like pure shit. Just want him back, man.
I think when I got back to town, I had Maria alive, and that was it.
Yeah.
I was just like, well,
man. Which I do want to just put it on the record if I haven't already. In my opinion, Maria is the main character of this game because
Maria goated in this game.
I just mained her the entire time in the same way that I mained Yuna in Final Fantasy X. I was just like, yeah, no, this is like, but like they're, the characterization of the characters isn't like too pronounced all that much.
Right,
like Firion and Maria don't really have too much characterization. We regularly have a revolving door of fourth party members and like, Guy can speak to animals and talks kind of like a caveman. That's about it. But in my headcanon, I'm like, no, the main character of Final Fantasy II is Maria because she is the best one.
I hope Guy says bunga at some point. That would make me very happy. But we have the goddess bell. So that means
we finally made it back to Salamand. We need to sleep for like 7 days because we just got our
God.
fucking asses kicked in that cave.
Yeah. But I think we're ready to go on to the next step of the plan, the next phase of our operation, which would be going to Castle Kashuan and getting the what the hell is it called? The Sunfire.
Yeah, the Sunfire, which we need that Eagle's torch.
Eagle's torch, yeah. To be able to
the Eagles torch.
The Eagle's torch, dude. Let's go. Go Birds.
That's right.
Go Sixers, go Birds, go Flyers, go Union.
I think we need to take a...
Yeah, we need to hit that in real quick.
Indeed. Let's do that real quick.
We almost got fucking killed by Borgin. That's how fucking weak we are right now.
I will see you all after this very incredibly short no-in music stay at the end.
The color palette has gone dark.
That's right. We've pressed one button to awaken outside.
Not yet. We haven't.
Okay.
All right. See you in a bit.
So, now that we've gotten Joseph killed, we can go to his house and enjoy the fruits of our labor.
We did save his daughter last episode, but in return, we have also killed her father. Oh, how cruel fate is.
So we are even.
Yeah, so we are even.
She doesn't know a shit. We're all squared up now. We saved your life. We killed your dad.
This starts the cool revenge tale side mission story of Nellie or Molly or whatever the fuck her name is trying to kill us years down the road.
Also, the lady who is just outside Joseph's house is now living in Joseph's house.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that lady. I forget who brought it up. Was it Eyes on B?
Yep, on Twitter.
Yeah, so B brought this up on Twitter, and it was something that I didn't really think about. I think I'm just like, oh, it's an older game, so I don't, there's not too much context. They only have limited character space, whatever. She brought up a really good point where, who the fuck is this lady?
Who is this lady? I thought it was like some kind of like spurned love interest, because there is a lady who is standing outside of Joseph's house for the earlier portions of this game who's like, oh, I'm so in love with Joseph, but I would only just get in his way. I
would only hold him back or something. So I thought it was just like the way that I read that was like, oh, this is Joseph's wife and she's just outside doing chores or whatever. Joseph's inside just telling us to fuck off or whatever he was doing. And she's just like, oh, Joseph's so great. Like, I didn't think anything of it. There is no point in this game that mentions anything about their relationship other than she loved Joseph.
Yeah. So that's why I thought she was like somebody who's like
admiring
him from afar or whatever. Who's like, oh, I love that man.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I don't know where.
Maybe. Who knows? But she moves into Joseph's house either way. And if you talk to her, she's like, now I will raise Nellie. It's what Joseph would have wanted. And if you think of her as an outside influence, as like a stranger, it makes this all the more weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. Especially like with the direction that this game goes in later, where you're like, huh. This weird lady is just like, I mean, it works out nicely for us because we can kind of be like, okay, well, at least Nellie's taken care of by this mystery woman, but I don't know. I got to check out the novelization, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to like find any information on like this. Who is this?
Who is this lady?
Yeah, Nellie very tragically in the Pixel remaster says, Daddy isn't coming back, is he? And it's like,
oof.
Yeah.
At least you didn't have to tell her.
True. Yeah, I remember like walking up to this house and being like, oh my God, dude, I got to break the news to Joseph's wife. And I'm like, no, she's not even his wife.
I gotta break the news to Joseph's stalker. Oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was devastated. Like, I think I was just like, oh, Joseph seems kind of like a Sid Final Fantasy type. So maybe it's like a Sid Shira kind of situation. But I was like, that is putting way too much into like what we have to go off of, which is like 4 lines of dialogue tops.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say that she isn't, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a small town, so I'm sure a tragic story for her too. I mean, she presumably loves Joseph, and now he's dead, but she is looking out for his daughter. So
yeah, so I guess we'll just kind of let that one slide and be like, all right, if you say
we're gonna
so.
just assume that that's okay.
Yeah. Whatever. We saved her from the mines. She ain't our problem no more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny the script just lists her as girl in Joseph's house.
Does it really?
if we're going by Gungan rules, Nelly still owes us a life debt. Okay, so
That's right. She's gonna give us un the bonko.
she's gonna take us through the planet core.
But the next thing we have to do is head to Kashuan Keep, which is south of Bafsk, right?
Yeah, or it is right in Poft by going and spending 400 gil to fly
That's
directly
right.
there with the airship.
Can I also say, by the way, no, should I say it later? No, I'll just say it now since
Just
we're
say
talking
it.
about Poft right now. Poft and Paloom, neither of these towns have a revival spring or like a cathedral.
Huh. Interesting.
They don't believe in all that hocus pocus.
Yeah, they're like,
so-
we're nothing. We'll never need those services.
So if you get absolutely torn up in this next dungeon and you barely fucking limp your way all the way back, no help for you. There's nothing here.
Yeah, this isn't like a weird gamer like brag or anything. I'm not like posting my gamer score on Twitter or anything, but I only had to use those
That's
things
for
like
YouTube.
once. Yeah, that's for YouTube, exactly.
Yeah.
I only had to use that once in the early game, I think, because after that, like in the Pixel Remaster, it's easy because you can just buy Phoenix Downs or find Phoenix Downs, so it's not a big deal. And then in the Famicom one, you can just get Life Spell, and I have Life on 2 people. That's not to say I'm not gonna have to use it at some point, but
I also had life on 2 people, but we'll talk about that.
yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Kashuan Keep. Fuck this place. Fuck
we've
this
given
place.
up. What's his name? Fucking Scott or Gordon or
Gordon.
Gordon.
Scott
was
is
his dead
dead.
brother. Yeah. So body count's increasing here.
That's right.
But we've given up on finding him. We got the bell. We don't fucking need that asshole anymore.
That's right.
Conveniently, we are down a party member, but we'll deal with that later. We don't need a fourth. So we go to Kashuan.
Where in this giant castle could the Sunfire possibly be?
It's in the fucking vestibule. It
It's
is
just right
in
in the lobby.
the front atrium, dude.
You just walk in, you're like, oh, there it is.
Which I knew because when I didn't know where to go because I didn't talk to the king and learn about the goddess bell, I was like, oh, okay. Kashuan, everything's kind of pointing me there, and I went there and was like, cool, the Sunfire. I remember Sid talking about that to destroy the Dreadnought. That seems logical to be the next place to go. And
You just grab it, right?
yeah, exactly. Just put it in your hands. Like, come on, guy.
Ow.
yeah, ow.
Fire hot. Fire indeed hot. Yeah, so we can go up to the door now, which is locked, and use the goddess bell. And as the clear tone of the bell rings out, the lock opens without a sound. It's a weird little detail.
That was very interesting that it does specify without a sound.
It's a little weird, but sure. And then we walk in, and guess who's there?
Fucking Gordon.
Gordon. You made
What
this
are
so
you-
difficult for us. You fucking locked the door behind you, you fucking asshole. I mean,
Maybe
I
it
guess
didn't
that
actually
does...
unlock. It didn't make a sound because it was already unlocked.
I was trying to like devil's advocate for Gordon here and be like, okay, it makes sense that he would lock the door because this is the safest place he could be, kind of.
Yeah, what if
from
the Empire came in?
From the Empire came, but the Empire has already fucking been here because this place looks like shit. It's
Yeah,
fucking
that's true,
destroyed,
that's true.
and it's fucking covered in fucking monsters.
I will tell you, I did try.
Gordon,
Every
why did you
single
do
time.
this and tell no one?
I did try every single time I saw like a bombed out wall to be like, ooh, maybe I can walk outside the castle through this hole in the wall. And like, no, you never can. But
No. Never worth trying in this game.
no.
If Final Fantasy 13 didn't incentivize exploring, this game certainly doesn't either.
I always think about that with any sort of fiction involving like old ruins. Like, oh, you need like a special key to open the door. Like, well, the wall's collapsed over there.
Yeah.
You can just like walk around. Doesn't seem that strong.
There's a couple of things in Dark Souls. I've been playing through Dark Souls 2, and there's a couple of things where it's like
God, the
No, you
best
could
one.
easily just like hop over that ledge if you wanted to. Like Demon Souls had a vault mechanic where you would vault over a wall to get somewhere. You could just do that. Like there's a blacksmith locked out of his house and he's like, "Oh, all my tools are in there."
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
You're
yeah.
sitting right next to a window, dude. I know you're a little thick, but like just boost me up. I will go in there. I will unlock the door from that side, and then
If anyone
you
can make a lockpick, a blacksmith should be able to fucking figure it
yeah,
out.
like come on, just build another key, asshole. You need all of your tools to build a key. I assume that blacksmiths are interchangeable with locksmiths.
Locksmiths in that world, yeah.
That's why they call them smiths. They are
Look, Dark
related.
Souls 2 has a talking cat, so it's the best one.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Best NPC in the
A
series.
talking cat.
Actually, I
Yeah.
guess Dark Souls 1 has a talking cat too, but
It does, but it's not as cute.
not
Not
as
like a
cute.
house cat.
it's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know what else has a talking cat? Wait, not this game.
yeah, I was FF7.
10-2?
Is a Moogle a cat?
Guys, I don't want to get political on this podcast.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
let's not ask that one.
Cerberus.
Is a Moogle a cat? What does count it as a sandwich?
Maybe it's a beaver. Descendant of a beaver.
yeah, that's right. So, so we meet Gordon. He says he came here to get the Sunfire. He thought he was the only one left who could open that door. But you need a meal's torch to get the Sunfire, and it's somewhere in the castle.
Oh, it's a meal in that one?
I meant to say Eagle.
Okay, no,
Eagle?
Eagles.
I'm sleepy.
We
y'all.
need to
I have
get
to go to
Engel's
bed.
torch, and we need to get Marx's hammer and sickle, and then we can
That's right,
we
that's
can
right.
really take the empire.
And then we can
down,
start
dude.
the revolution. But yeah. So he's like, he's waffling a little bit. Like the one thing that we know about Gordon already is that he's like unsure of himself.
He is
so he's
soft.
like, he's soft. And he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not strong enough to go in there, but I can't return empty handed. What am I going to do? And so we're kind of like, okay, well, you can just come with us. It's fine. You know, like
Yeah.
join
I
us.
like how he says, I couldn't just leave empty handed, so I've just been standing here stuck.
Yeah.
Extremely Sigmire from Dark Souls 1. Just, just
And Maria says, like, she's like, well, at least you know your way around the castle, right? Like that'll be like a boon for us. You're from here. You're the prince of this place. You know how to get around.
you
the
know where the
castle.
good mozzarella sticks are.
Exactly. And he's like, I have no idea how to get around this castle. And we're like, Gordon, you son of a bitch. You goof.
I like. He says that the keep is riddled with secrets. I wouldn't know my way around any better than you. And it's like, goddamn, dude. Try
Goddamn.
giving someone the benefit of the doubt once. And
I
this
know,
is how
I
they
know.
repay you.
But he says, I do want to fight. Will you let me come with you?
Yeah. So we're getting a nice little character arc here with Gordon.
Yeah.
Did you guys look at his stats at all?
I looked at his items, but not his stats.
I guess I can look at him right now.
So his stats is a reference to Final Fantasy VII with all lucky sevens. He's all lucky twos. Final Fantasy II.
Oh my
Gordon,
God.
twos across the board. He's got 22 strength, 22 spirit, 22 intellect, 22 stamina, just 22%,
Oh, wow.
or 22 all the way down the board. He's got 25 attack actually that I'm looking at it, but all of his skill levels are level 2. So honestly, he keeps talking shit on himself, but he's kind of fucking cool.
That's fair enough. That's fair
Like
enough.
he's started with more proficiency, like a little bit more proficiency on every weapon class, which makes sense if he's a prince. You know, they don't need him to, you know, become a great warrior or anything, but they probably would want him to train up just enough to be able to defend himself. Should push come to shove.
I should have taken his weapons off. He probably would have been good as a bare hand.
Yeah.
Like just doing
Yeah.
fists.
It's like, okay, Gordon, we're going to call you New Joseph. You're only allowed to use your fists because we miss that dude. That dude was fucking hilarious, dude. He killed Joseph killed a zombie in the fucking ice cavern, and he said, looks like you need to chill, and then punched his head fucking clean off, dude. It was sick. That guy ruled. Do you have any fun jokes you can tell
The
us,
whole
Joseph?
time we're hanging out with Gordon, we just keep talking about how cool Joseph was. Dude, remember
like-
when Joseph was the fourth party member? That guy was so sick.
It's like, no,
He got us a boat.
yeah, he gave us a cool ass fucking whip, dude. Yeah, so Gordon, I heard that of you and Scott, you are the funny one. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I mean, there's only one of them now.
Yeah, that's true. Technically correct.
Yeah, so Gordon died pretty fast for me a couple times.
Yeah. If you try to just do like, oh, let him take a hit so he can get some HP, because his HP is a little low right now, especially compared to our party. Yeah, he's just gonna go down.
Yeah,
but
the
nice thing is if you use life and bring him back, then he'll likely gain 22 more hit points by leveling up.
I do like that if a character gets KO'd and then you revive them before the end of the battle. For me, it seemed like the likelihood of their HP increasing was much higher.
It's like I feel like it's almost guaranteed, because I think it's a threshold of like what you started the battle with in your like current HP, and then what you ended the battle with.
And 0 is about as far down as you can go. So
exactly.
Well.
But I'm looking at my my party here, just in one of my screenshots on the Pixel Remaster, and Gordon had 150 HP, and Guy had 1183. Like the weakest in that that realm. Oh yeah, dude, Furion had even more than him. He had like almost 1300.
Holy shit! This Maria, is not a Famicom game.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't have that information in front of me right now.
Okay, but, I was like, God damn! I think Guy has like 300 for me.
No, I was. This was also me limping around with my party trying to find how to get into fucking Kashuan Keep and just fighting enemies along the way.
Got you.
Russell Crowe fighting around the world.
So I had to go all the way up Kashuan's Keep twice, because the first time I made it where we're getting ready to go to the torch, and did not have the MP or HP or items to fight the boss at all. I was not prepared.
That was
just not gonna happen.
That was the exact thing that happened to me on the Famicom one, mainly because enemies here inflict darkness.
Oh my god, they're so annoying.
And that's helpful if you're trying to level up Asuna, but I think at this point I did not have Asuna, and at one point I was like, okay, I'm looking up which town has Asuna. I'm fucking getting that.
Yo, you know what? I have done a bad job keeping up with magic. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have of white magic, I have cure, teleport, and life, and that's it. And then for black magic, I have fire, thunder, and blizzard, and that's it.
I think it's interesting because in this game, there's a lot of spells that you just don't need at all. Yeah. Like, there's warp and teleport. Like, warp might be helpful.
Takes you back one floor, is that right?
It takes you back one floor. I don't think it costs any HP, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. I think it works the same in battle as teleport. Maybe has like a smaller chance. But hard to say. I mean, it's not hard to say. I just don't know. But I mean, there's also, I don't know if we've talked about one of my favorite names of a spell that I will probably never use in any Final Fantasy game if it makes a comeback, which is Basuna, which just sounds like we put a cool bee emoji over
the red
Asuna.
bee emote.
Motion.
But yeah, Basuna basically, it's like Asuna, but for status ailments that will disappear in battle, I think. So
okay.
Asuna is for ones that exist. Yeah, so literally just like, Venom disappears in like a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would I waste my time with Basuna?
Yeah, sometimes Venom as a status effect will take hold and then clear itself before it ever did any damage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But there is a room in here that has like, I guess it's like the armory. There's a mithril axe, there's a mithril sword, and there is a werebuster, which is, I think, is that a sword?
A stave.
A stave. Okay, so it's a stave that, I think I used that with Guy for a while because it'll deal more damage to beasts.
Okay.
And we're fighting like a lot of were-rats here, which have really sick pixel art. They're But these motherfuckers will inflict darkness on you, and eye drops ain't cheap.
No. And in FF2 for the Famicom, eye drops take up a very valuable item slot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And at this point, like all of your armor and stuff does as well. So you can't just hold on to all of your weapons and like get into like end game hoarding thing of being like, well, I have all this stuff because who knows if I might need it.
Also, I feel like the enemies here were not difficult per se, but they did do some HP damage every battle. Like, so every battle you're getting like kind of chopped down, And like as long as you have cure or whatever, it's okay because you can cure back up, right? But like, it's not the shortest walk all the way to the top of the castle. It takes a little bit. There's several floors, and you kind of have to traverse most of the floor each time to get there. So like it is a bit of a test of your like resources. And so only having limited room for eye drops or potions or whatever can be kind of a problem. But I was cocky and I didn't come in here with a full set of eye drops and potions, which fuck man, I should have. Holy crap.
And in the Famicom version, like I mean, Pixel Remaster, I feel like eye drops are pretty cheap and you're making enough gil that you can just buy like a fuck ton of them and not even have to worry about it. But like, it's not like you have 30 eye drops or something. It's like you cannot fit that many. It's
right.
Each individual one is each individual item slot.
Now, luckily,
which also key items take up item slots.
That's true. Luckily, the items you equip to your characters come out of your inventory, so they
correct.
do like free up spots.
Yeah, so you have some options, but it's definitely it's really rough on Famicom, especially like you're running into the enemies that blind you all the time, and also like mines and balloons, like the grenade variants
God.
If you get a preempt strike, they can just like I'm looking at a screenshot here and I have fucking 6 of them deep. There's like 2 balloons and 4 mines, and another thing about this game, I can never tell which enemy is the stronger one that I should be dealing with first. Yeah. Because it's like zombie or ghoul, and I'm like, I think zombie's the weak one, but the zombie has red eyes and the other one has blue eyes, so I don't know.
Red eyes seems more dangerous.
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. And especially with the balloons and the mines, if you don't take them out immediately, they can just KO a party member immediately. Like they just one-hit KO a party member. Yeah. So I feel like that's a good time to use one of Maria's level 3 spells, or whoever you have for your caster, because you can take out an entire party of them before they start attacking you.
Right.
But you have limited MP, especially in the Famicom version, where you have to use more than 10% of your MP to be eligible for an MP level up. So I only had like 31, 33 MP or whatever, which is like 11 casts.
I had significantly more than that because I used the sap trick, but but it's
what
still
is the sap trick?
Oh, you don't know that? I thought we talked about the sap trick.
Did we talk about the sap trick?
I remember you telling me, hey, how do I get good at Final Fantasy 2? And it's literally just do this.
Well, I think we talked about it off pod, maybe.
I think we talked about it with Minwoo because he comes pre-equipped with sap.
Oh, really?
But if you use sap on
whatever.
Maria...
Tell me again. I have forgotten.
If you use sap on Maria, that pretty much guarantees that she's going to level up her MP. So you just do that over and over again. Post out in front of a fucking inn, level up. So you give yourself... you could easily get yourself to like 999 pretty quickly.
Well, I'm going to be doing that.
I didn't do that much. I did it like a couple of times to just have enough to be able to get through this without it being a bunch of back and forth.
Dude, fuck that shit. As soon as I turn it on next, we're going all the way.
That's what I'm trying to do with Asuna now, because I'm like, okay, I think level 5 cures stone. I need to get across that line before I have to start buying fucking gold needles.
You're right. But yeah, there's a lot of items here. There's like a couple of those like treasury rooms that you were talking about.
Yeah, there's the gold armor set here as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I don't know if it has any like benefits other than being stronger. I don't know if it has like reduced damage for whatever. But let me see if I can look that up real quick.
There's another mithril sword if you missed it in the last dungeon.
Yep. Or if you want to dual wield, get the power stance build.
That's
going
true.
Swords.
I never think about dual wielding. I always just go with the one.
I think I don't know if it makes a huge difference. You get like a lot more of an attack, and if you have your proficiency up, you do a lot of hits, so it might not really matter. But if you're dual wielding, you do less attack, like less damage with each one, but you hit more twice, hits. So it's kind of like you can maybe get 10 hits instead of 5, but it's like reduced damage. So it's like it looks cool. It's like holding your gun sideways. It doesn't really necessarily help, but it looks so cool.
I'll see what I get. Yeah, I'll see what the difference is later when I play it. But yeah, so the final room.
I think the only thing about golden armor is just that it has more defense. It's not, there's no like passive thing, like it's not gonna inflict curse or anything.
Sure, yeah. But so we finally make it all the way up the Kashuan Keep to the final room, where there is another fire inside. There's fire on the first floor.
It's Davey Havoc himself.
That's a fire inside. Wow. fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
I was like, oh, look, it's the highest level bomb that we've had to fight because the sprite kind of looks like that. No, this is something different. Gordon
What
says
a
before
dick.
when we find this thing, he says like, oh, like I've heard that there was a monster guarding Egel's torch. Now I've seen it with my own eyes. It's a red soul.
Oh,
Oh,
do not like Red Soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is this is a rough fight.
Red Soul absorbs all elemental damage, so
Is it all elemental damage? I didn't learn the trick to this fight, and I meant to look it up and then didn't.
There is it depends on whether it's even a trick or not. There's not a good
I thought
way.
it was like what is it, Spheromorph or whatever in Final Fantasy X. I thought this was like the first instance of that where it's like it does different spells each turn. Like blizzard or fire or thunder or whatever, and I was like, ooh, I think at one point I did do damage to it, but I never like recognized the pattern in a way that I felt comfortable like trying to use magic on him, and I was like, if I fuck it up, he heals. If I do it, I get damage that I probably could have just done with Guy attacking him anyway, so I just went like full force. I do have a screenshot of me dead as hell to this thing.
Yeah, me too. So it absorbs every magic except for like osmos and stuff like that, like non-elemental ones like drain or whatever.
Oh, okay. I don't think we have Osmos yet.
No,
because
but
that is an OP fucking spell that I'm excited to talk about later on in the game.
But yeah, no, it doesn't have any like, there's no like cycle or anything like that. For you, there's no cycle for us that we can like damage it with magic at any time.
Makes sense,
it'll always
yeah.
heal off magic. But its first 4 turns, it will go through level 8 spells on the entire party that will do a shit ton of damage, especially on the again, I'm playing the Famicom version, so it's less so on the Pixel remaster. It's significantly more gentle, but on the Famicom, oh my god, it fucks you up when it throws this magic at you, and you can heal through it is the thing. My cure is like level 3 right now, and I could cure back like 60% of the damage that it was doing. And after 4 turns, it runs out of MP.
Yeah,
so
which is
a big thing.
pretty much necessary, depending on what version you're playing. Which also means like if you have drain or sap or whatever, you would be able to use that to your advantage and kind of prevent him from doing like high spell damage to each of your party members. Sure. It just kind of becomes a DPS thing as well, where it's like, can I deal enough damage to him before he kills me?
And then on that side as well, it has more defense than Adamantoys did.
Yeah.
So I was doing even less damage to it when I was going for physical attacks. So it had to be a critical hit to do any damage. And then the critical hits would only do like 40 HP. So this is the second or third time I had come up the castle and left. And I was like, I'm not going to do this again. This sucks. Like, I hate spending an hour going back and
back to town, going to the inn.
Exactly. And I was like, man, F this. I'm just going to save and reload until things work out, until I just get a bunch of critical hits and say, fuck it, and I win. So that's what I did. So I just like save scummed it, and I just kept going over and over and over until I won.
Based.
But once I won, I have no MP with Furion. 0, right? So no teleport. Teleport's out. I had, I think like 6, maybe 9, with Maria. So I could cast like 2 or 3 spells. Gordon's dead. And again, Furion, has 0 MP. So no life spell. So Gordon's down for the count. And Guy has like 100 HP. And so that's where I'm starting from at the top of the castle. So just keep that in mind for what comes next.
Goddamn.
But
I think this might be the part where I was like tired of making the run back as well, and I was like, okay, I can use a save state on my Steam Deck. That's completely fine. And I went to do it, and like my Steam Deck froze up, and I had been going through like 45 minutes, and I was like, oh fuck, no. But I think I ended up just like being able to like open a different window from like the Steam menu or something and go back in, and then it was working. And I was like, thank fucking God. But I was like, now I'm afraid to even use save states in this game, and I'm like, this is karma for cheating the game that came out fucking 30 years ago.
I've been making a lot of different save states. I have like 1 through 10.
Okay, yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that on Steam Deck, so I haven't. I've just been overwriting the one. I've had exactly one quick save.
Especially for what's coming up too.
Yeah.
So we get how are we gonna pronounce it? Eagle,
Eagle, I guess, because Gill. Yeah, Eagles. Yeah, go birds.
That's right. Yeah. So we get the torch. We can now go back down to the first floor to get the Sunfire, and let me tell you what a fucking nightmare this was for me, y'all. This was such a nightmare. This took me, and I am not kidding, hours to get back down the castle.
Oh my god.
Couldn't use warp?
Nope. He had no
MP on Furion. No MP.
Oh.
So I had like 2 potions. I had a tome of cure. So I was able to use that once, which casts Cure 8 on everybody. So
nice.
You get one real good one. So I basically used all of my healing on like the first floor trying to get back down because there are like mage ogres that cast.
Those things fucking suck.
They cast Blizzard on everybody every turn, and it does like 80 damage.
Sometimes you'll have several of them in one fight, I think, as well.
Yeah, and it's so terrible. So I would just like, oh, well, I guess that didn't work out. There was 2 mage ogres, and they hit me first. So reload my save state. Try it again. Keep going. Reload my save state. Try it again. Until I finally got through a battle where I'd go, okay. Save state. I only lost so much HP. I'm okay. And as I started going on, I got to the point where Guy had less than 100 HP left. I had like 1 cast of magic. So I could do 1 fight and like get 1 freebie, right? And it was an Adamantoise where I was like, fuck this, and I just threw Blizzard 3 or whatever. So I completely ran out of that. No MP. And so I was like, I'm so fucked. Like, I'm so fucked. There's no way I can get out of here. So what I did for the last like 2 or 3 floors was I would save state. I would walk up until I got into a battle, reload that save state, walk up until the tile before I would get into the battle, right? And then save again. And then so what I would do is I would take the additional step and see what enemies were in the battle. And if it was like super favorable, I would try it. And if it wasn't favorable,
so smart.
If it wasn't favorable, I would reload and then bump into the wall, because bumping into the wall advances the RNG counter by 1. And so I would advance the RNG counter by 1, save state, and then see what's in the next battle. And so I would just keep going on and on and on until I found a pretty easy battle, like an enemy that I could defeat, right? And the thing was, it would never change the core of what the enemies were, but it would change like the number of them. So if it was an Adamantoise, it is an Adamantoise. I'm just fucked. So like that's why I had to throw Blizzard at that one.
Curtis gets to the right before the door and tries doing that, and then he's out of save states to use, and he just fucking gets War Mech all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fucked.
The RNG counter just throws War Mech at you.
So I kept having to do that to be able to get through, and like sometimes like Guy would take like 2 hits, which is like 60 HP. So he'd be down to like 10, and I'd be like, you know what? I won that battle, but not good enough. We have to reset and do it again. So I had to reset and then try it again. And sometimes, like, obviously, accuracy in this game is so shitty that you just miss a bunch of the time, or you don't get like a good attack.
Especially
so I'd be
on
like,
Famicom.
Yeah, so I'd be like, okay, this will work if and only if Maria gets a critical. Because if Maria gets a critical, she can actually kill this enemy in 1 shot. So I would get into a battle where it was a favorable enemy layout, and then I would save state again as it was my turn, and I would click attack once and then cancel Furion's turn, because that also advances the RNG by a position.
Good fucking god.
So I kept seeing like, what happens if I cancel it once and then let it roll? What if I cancel it twice and then let it roll? And so I'd do it like 30 times and be like, oh, that's the RNG where Maria gets a critical hit. And then I would let her do the critical hit, beat that battle, save state again, and then repeat the whole process. And so I was eventually, after hours of work, it was like 2 or 3 hours, I was able to get outside of the keep. And I was like, oh my God.
By the time you get out, you've fully understood the mechanics enough to do like arbitrary code execution and stuff. And you're just like acing your way through shit. You're like, I'm turning all of these enemies into toads.
This is basically the plot of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. That's right.
I was gonna say it's the fucking ending of that Doctor Strange movie. Like anytime Curtis walks up to the Adamantoids, he's like, "I'm here to bargain."
so I eventually, and we'll talk about.
There's another reference that I want to make, but it would be. It's one that Mutsky is probably, if he's listening, he's going to be like, why isn't Carl talking about this? And I'll say, the reason I'm not talking about it is because I think that's a thing that people should experience on their own for the first time.
Which is...
Mutsky will know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say anything more than that because it's such a good moment in something that I enjoy that I don't want to rob that from anyone else. That's all I'll say. Okay.
Well,
if you know, you know.
So eventually I got outside of the keep and I was like, oh, thank God, there's a chocobo forest to the south.
Yes.
And as I was going there, I got in one more battle with just some vines. No big deal.
a leg eater.
Yeah, a leg eater. No big deal. And Furion got killed and Maria was in critical condition. So I barely fucking escaped this keep. And I was like, dude, FF2 sucks.
Dude.
This game sucks.
On the flip side of it, this is the kind of shit that make video games so much fun. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Being in the moment, you're like, I fucking hate this and this is miserable. But like having these fucking insane stories to tell,
yeah, it's true.
Is so good. Like I love. Like I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that, but that is fine. Such a good story that I loved hearing it. And
I'm sorry you almost soft locked yourself in the. Dungeon.
I did. Oh my god! Because I kept thinking like, well, I could. I mean, I have the option to just die. I could just do that and then try it again. But if I do that, I'm wasting like 5 hours of work at this point.
Yeah,
like,
which it never feels good. And it's that's like, again, at the time, the different like games were completely different. So it's like, oh, okay, I lost 5 hours, but I'm playing a video game in the fucking 80s or 90s. So that is not time wasted. It's not like I can go and boot up fucking any other game I could ever want. Like there wasn't as much like concern about like a player's time. It was more about like the experience. But like that. Like you said, 5 hours lost. I'm in the same boat where like I enjoy playing this game. I'm a sicko who likes playing the Famicom one, and even I am like, no, I don't want to have this last hour of my life where I tried getting through here just being wasted and starting from zero. I'm definitely gonna save scum. I'm definitely gonna save scum and use sap.
I feel like the spiritual difference between the Famicom version and the Pixel remaster, right, is that the Pixel remaster is a game that wants you to see it. You know what I mean? Like
and succeed.
Yeah. So it gives you the tools to succeed, to get through it relatively easily and interface with its systems, and it's fine, right? But like the Famicom version, you have to deserve to see the next cutscene. Like you want to see the next area, you have to fucking earn that.
You have to fucking want to.
You have to want to.
You have to want to, and I feel like that is the big problem with Final Fantasy II is that not a lot of people want to see it. Not enough people really, and that's not me casting judgment. I'm like, why would you want to if you're not doing it for a podcast? Like I can totally understand why people like did not like this game.
You know, we haven't really talked about it yet, but I would like to make a small comparison between FF2 and FF3 in that these are both very difficult games, especially the Famicom version of 2 and 3. They're very hard. But I think one of the things about like putting in the work and being like, no, I'm going to earn the next area, right, is that in FF3, when I put in the work, I know how much I'm getting out of it because I get a certain amount of experience, and that experience gives me a certain amount of attack. And the stat gains in FF3 are pretty significant. So when you level up once, you're like, oh, I'm significantly stronger than I was the level before. So it feels like I'm being immediately rewarded for hard work.
Sure.
Where in FF2, I can slug it out with a difficult enemy and like make intelligent plays, cast the right things, and get through it in a way that interfaces with the systems. and then the reward is, oh, sorry, you didn't roll correctly, so no stat gains this time. Better luck next time. So it does like disincentivize wanting to put in that work to see the next area.
Absolutely. Or putting in an overabundant amount of work to ensure that you will get 22 more HP or whatever, which doesn't
and
feel
that is
great.
a kind of work, right? Like that's not even the like cheese strats that we're talking about, like the sap trick and stuff like that, punching yourself in the face. That's not free. You still have to go do it. You know what I mean? You have to put in the effort to get it.
And again, in the Pixel remaster, it's extremely free. You just set up auto battle. You just like, it's no problem.
Right.
Auto battle not only just has your characters do the moves that you set like the last time to do again, but it also speeds everything up. So it's so easy to do that in Pixel Remaster, but in FF2, like I was saying a little earlier this episode, like you have no choice. Like you can't just be like, oh, defend, so now I hone in on Maria to make sure that she gets past that threshold. It's like, no, you have to punch, you have to use your limited HP well in order to like get through a couple of things. You have to take your weapons off of your characters, which takes some time. You have to do all this. I did notice like one thing that you could do is like, before a battle, change to the back row and then try attacking yourself from the back row, and you won't hit because it's bugged in a way where it's like, oh, you can't hit something from that row. On the flip side of it, if you're in the back row, you can't attack an enemy, so you can't attack yourself because the game doesn't expect you to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how you get a free thing, but then like it's I don't know, it's a mess.
It's a mess. But like, I mean, it's still incredibly ambitious, and I'm not trying to like talk shit about the game. Like,
I'm not
really
trying to disparage the game or anything. Like I feel like enough people have done that. I'm just, talking about it on the terms that it has set forward in a way of being like, I weirdly like this.
There's something nice about it. There's something nice about it. Yeah.
It's like on the flip side of being like, well, I know that I will get like this amount of experience, so I will get a level up and stuff. It's like, yes, but in this I kind of like that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know exactly how much MP I'm going to get if I hit that threshold. But again, on the Famicom one, the more you do of one thing, the less of that you will get in return because stats go down. Your intelligence goes down the more you attack. So it's like you won't get any magic. So it's like I don't have anything on Furion other than like life and maybe cure if things get really hairy. I'm like, he is strictly just an attack guy. Maria's my only caster in this playthrough.
I also feel that the older I get and the more experience I get, the more my intelligence goes down.
I agree. Same here.
I feel
here.
But the Sunfire, it's down here.
Yeah.
It's down here
we got the
on
Sunfire, we put it in the torch, and then we can finally leave the fucking horrible Kashuan.
Finally leave this
castle.
accursed place.
What do we need this fire for? Now we just have a torch that is lit, right?
Yeah, I guess you can't put that in your pocket or anything. We just have to carry it around the whole time.
Should have been a lantern.
Put it in a bottle like in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Well, we need it to destroy the dreadnought because airships
we put that
run
baby on
Sunfire.
the engine and it heats up real good.
That's right. We got to
It
overheat
runs on Sunfire, so we need more of it?
Yeah, we need
he
to
was saying-
overload it.
Yeah, we're gonna overload it and cause it to heat up.
Oh,
They were
okay.
saying that like if you add too much, it's uncontrolled, and so it overheats or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're literally fighting fire with fire.
Like I accidentally gave away earlier, there's a chocobo forest near.
There is a cutscene that plays as well.
Oh, is there? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kind of important. Yeah, kind of important.
This is important. My mistake.
When we leave, we see our friendly little airship flying by, and we're like,
it's
hell
Sid's
yeah,
airship.
nice.
How nice.
Maybe he's just gonna pick us up. He's like got, like we called the Uber. He says he's out front. No, he's being fucking chased by the Dreadnought. It is significantly bigger. Like we've seen it on the world map, but now we're seeing them both together, and it's like the Dreadnought's gaining on it and actually like pulls above the airship and kind of just I think it just like grabs it, right? Like it uses some sort of like
in the Famicom version, they just fly off the screen. We just see that they're chasing each other in that version. Which I will say, in the Famicom version, it's very nice to see a 32 by 32 sprite moving on the screen. Where I was like, "Wow, look how big it is!" Like, that's incredible. How did they move all that at once?
I think in the Pixel remaster, it's very like Dr. Robotnik. where it just
Okay.
swoops in and grabs it with a claw.
It is the Final Fantasy IV treatment that we did to the hovercraft in that game.
Yeah. I might be misremembering in the Pixel Remaster, but basically what has happened that we will learn when we go back to a town is that Cid's airship was captured, and if that wasn't bad enough, Princess Hilda was on that airship to come and meet us at Kashuan to try and help us.
You know what I really enjoy about this game in general? I know that we kind of discussed it on another episode, but it gets all the towns out of the way really fast. Like, we just kind of like know what all the towns are pretty much immediately in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does change dialogue for all the NPCs walking around when world events happens. And I was like, that's so nice. Because even though there's fewer towns than FF1, they're a little more lively in the way that they actually react to the events of the world. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I that does only happen a set amount of times, I think. Like, there'll be points where you're much further along and you'll talk to someone in Salamand and they'll be like, oh, you need the snowcraft or something like to that effect. Like, it's not every town and every NPC, but it's more than it was in FF1, which was not at all, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So it's really cool. But you want to talk about that Chocobo forest?
I would like to talk about that Chocobo forest because the mechanics by which catching a Chocobo in FF2 Famicom version work are interesting. So when you go into the Chocobo forest, the Chocobo
it's just a tile on the screen too. There's no
you can't tell where it is.
It's like a secret.
It's a secret.
In Pixel Remaster, there is like a different tile that
that's true.
You're like, oh, there's something there when you walk into it.
But it's hiding in the grass, and so you can't actually see it all the time in the Famicom version.
Yeah,
so
like
you
pops
walk
its
in,
little head up.
Yeah, and occasionally it pops its head up, and you have to go up and talk to it when its head's up. And like, if you mess up, of course, in FF2, you have to wait for that text box to come down and be like, nothing
happened. Nothing
happened. Yeah, and then go back up. So it's like a little bit annoying to try to actually catch them.
Yeah.
But once you do, it'll say, oh, you caught a Chocobo, and it'll bring up the Ask Learn Item menu. But you can't do anything. You can't do any of that. Yeah. You can't ask or learn anything from it or use items on it. And so you back out of the text, and it just continues to pop around. And I was like, I thought I caught it. Like,
yeah.
Do I not get to ride it? What's happening?
We don't get the cool victory fanfare like we do in the Pixel Remaster. Just kind of keeps going on.
Yeah, and so I was like, maybe this version's bugged or something because I'm playing like a hack. I don't know. So I left the Chocobo forest, and the Chocobo is just standing outside the forest now. So like, you have to catch it and then exit the forest, and then it's there. But you're not on it yet. You can still walk away from it. And so I walked a tile away from it and got into a battle, and I was like, oh no, I only have
still
Maria
there when
left.
You came back?
It was there when I came. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
You can also get into a battle on the Chocobo tile when you walk onto it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. But yeah, you walk onto it and it works the same way that like a ship or, the airship or anything that we've had works, where you have to hit A to then get on the Chocobo. And we hear our first instance of the Chocobo theme in the series.
Yeah.
Which is the familiar melody that we all know, but only one part of it in the...
it doesn't have the turnaround.
Yeah, it's just
it's just that loop.
Yeah, so it's a very quick loop. And
it doesn't have the... It doesn't have that, and there we go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The refrain.
But with Chocobos, you get into no encounters. So you can go through a good majority of the world map if you want to kind of explore. This is what I was doing a lot when I was trying to find information about the Goddess Bell so that I could get into Kashuan. I just walked around the entire world as a Chocobo, and then I was like, okay, well, I came up to a river and I can't cross it here, so let me get off the river and see if I can go down this way. And then I crossed the river, no longer with the Chocobo, it ran back to the forest, and then I'm walking around and I'm like, oh, now I'm hitting enemies that are way outside my weight class. This sucks.
Oh, no.
Have you all seen the original mono art for the Chocobo?
It's a fucking pterodactyl, right?
It's fucking terrifying. I love it. I'm gonna post it in the Discord right now.
I bet it's the same one I'm looking at right now.
It probably is.
This horrible pink thing.
Yep.
Oh, yes, dude. That's like a fucking Salvador, fucking Dali painting.
That's some fucking Metroid shit right there.
Oh my God, yeah, that's extremely Metroid. I like the dude fucking chilling on top.
Yeah, there's a dude chilling
relaxing,
up on top of it.
Relaxed a bit.
Chillaxed, yeah.
Or very Dune, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the backwards legs. Like, birds have backwards knees, but it also has 2 talons on the back and 1 in the front.
Yeah, that's
It looks
crazy.
like it's running out its like knuckles. It definitely like evokes a lot of like the old Mobius like stuff from the 70s,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is a huge influence on Mono.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Anyway, that's a freakish creature.
Yeah.
There's no shoe puff.
The pixel art is much cuter.
Much
even
cuter,
in the
much
original
more akin to what we know and love
Yeah.
as a chocobo.
Also, the original chocobo was a white chocobo,
Yeah.
interestingly enough. So I thought that was kind of neat that they're not yellow yet.
Amano's like, look at this fucked up horror that I drew. And they're like, okay, we're going to put it in the game as a big chicken. Thank you.
A fun little song when you get on it. But yeah, that's the first chocobo in Final Fantasy. There he is. Incredible.
Yeah. All right.
It's
But
like Mono's art is like the 90s Mario movie.
yes. Holy shit. Yeah.
It's like the other direction where like, let's adapt Final Fantasy. And it's like this just fucked up like Lynchian or like Cronenberg ass looking thing.
Yeah.
The Emperor is played by fucking Dennis Hopper.
It's fucking wild.
But yeah, this is where, like, again, I had only Maria alive. And I was like, okay, first order of business, take this chocobo to Pofter Paloom and get everybody healed back.
Yeah.
So I let the chocobo go. I said, get out of here, chocobo. And I walk into the town, and the towns, you can't revive your people in the towns. I was like, no. So I had to, like, take a couple more battles on the way back to Altair to
Did
actually
you
revive them.
Did you revive Maria at the inn and then make your way back to Altair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Top her off.
That way I at least had, like, magic just in case.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like,
absolutely.
those enemies at this point, they don't pose much of a threat. But, I mean, you know, if I fought, like, 6 of them at once and they all did, like, 10 HP, that's only 2 turns before Maria's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
No, that's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
good.
Where's they let us use the revival circle in the
I was thinking that.
in the
Why won't they
base.
let us use the revival circle?
yeah, it worked for Furion once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Stupid. But yeah, and that's pretty much where I left off. That's where I stopped playing it.
Same here. Hmm.
So what's the next like step? We gotta go find.
Oh, we gotta
Hilda,
go
I'm
to the
guessing.
Dreadnought, baby. I believe that's next. Is that next?
Oh yes, we got to go to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dreadnought, and I am excited. That is the bone that I have to pick with this game.
Oh,
That I sent to you guys. I think that it lines up exactly with it. There's finding the Dreadnought was quite a tale, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's a whole story. That's another story altogether.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear about that story.
I'm excited to tell you guys about it. I've been
I have
waiting
not
like
done
a
it yet,
month,
so.
a month on this one.
So that was 2 dungeons, baby.
2 dungeons, baby. Surely we're 3/4 of the way done with the game now. God, this game's hard.
This game is fucking hard, dude.
Well,
Well,
got anything else to add to this one?
We're cruising through this game. I feel like we're like 4 episodes in, and we're only like halfway done.
Feels like there's a lot left. Like,
Yeah.
having played it, I'm like, oh, there's so much left.
this game does have a bit of an ass on it. There was a couple of times where I'm like, surely that's the end. And then I was like, nope, we're still
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Surely that was the end. Nope, we're
There's
still
still
going.
like fucking 5 playable characters we haven't gotten yet. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go for a
Yeah.
bit.
But yeah, lots to talk about still.
Alex, would you like to save state, do the outro, and if it doesn't go right, reload the state, press against the wall several times, and then see how the outro goes?
Yeah, I guess I have no other choice.
You don't want to lose 5 hours of effort.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening to another episode. Thank you to Night of the Round for the theme music. Thank you to Abuo Uematsu for the game music. Thank you to the Gooch.
The Gooch.
Gooch.
Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. You can call us at 530-MATERIA. You can reach us at every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and hop in our Discord. And I will see you in hell.
See you in hell.
I think that should just be how we end every episode of the podcast, honestly. See you in hell.